What's that? You wanted more combiners? Oh, don't worry. Hasbro's got you covered. Oh yeah. Hello and welcome back to Outside the Box. I don't remember what number we're on. I'm filming a bunch of these back to back to back, but we've got another great unboxing today. Still not done with a big box from Big Bad Toy Store. So let us continue. Ow! Whew. It still feels kind of heavy. Okay. Let me just peruse. Yeah, we're still gonna get one more video out of this box. Ow! Oh, that's a doozy. Ugh. So here we have Transformers from Age of the Primes, Aerialbot, Silverbolt. We recently opened up the 2-pack of the Constructicons that do form the torso, and although this one is just one bot, it does the same thing. We're back to the skeletal system for this combiner, which again, I am perfectly okay with, although I do have some thoughts, just based off of what I've seen online, right? We do get some nice artwork here though. Like how it has a little bit of color onto Silverbolt. Nice big epic picture of him there, and a nice shot of him in jet mode, which is a Concorde jet, right? I know that's what he was based off of. And obviously they make some changes because it's not exactly a Concorde, but the similarities are definitely there. I think the biggest difference, if I'm not mistaken, the Concorde jet has a very pointed nose, and I know how it can actually tilt downward when it's taking off. I don't know if this nose cone has any articulation, but it's definitely a bit rounder, so it's not exactly the same thing. Still though, looks fantastic. On the back, quite a few shots here of Silverbolt himself, and of course said Concorde-ish jet. I guess he also has some kind of a battle station with the extra pack-in skeletal piece, so you get to do that, which you can also do that with the Motormaster trailer, so that's kind of similar there. And apparently you can also combine it to the Concorde and have some kind of a super Concorde. I don't even know. That's where it kind of like, it doesn't fall apart, but it's something that doesn't make as much sense as adding a trailer to the truck mode of Motormaster. So that's what they came up with. And it's really, what is it? What is it? It's just like an extra bit that fits on the back of the jet. We do have, oh, I mean, I guess we have like some extra wing bits on the back, dorsal fin here on the back. There is a little detail that I caught online though that I'm excited to check out. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But also, last but certainly not least, we have shots of Superion. Without the other Aerialbots, they don't want to give up the full shot just yet. But you basically get a full Superion that maybe just went a little bit of a diet. Or he hasn't had arm date just yet, right? They do show you like some holographic images here, how some of the extra bots are going to look like on the arm and on the leg there as well. So it gives you an idea. Very similar though, as far as on the legs, they're going to go on the back of the legs, not on the front. Some folks have issues with that. I think I've grown to accept it. I've got ideas as far as the repaint, how I'm going to approach it to maybe give the illusion that they're in the front, but that's, anywho, I'm jumping ahead here. This is a fantastic box. I do love it. Oh, even here on the front too, we get images of 2 other Aerialbots here on the back. I'm guessing it's the 2 that they're talking about in the back of the box, Slingshot and Air Raid. I think these came out around the same time as Silverbolt. Well, do I have them here maybe in these other boxes? Maybe. We'll find out sooner or later. Let's get them out of the box. Boo. Okay. Oh, is that cause for concern? I don't see a nose cone. Did I just jinx myself? I'm sure it's separate, but now I'm wondering, is there articulation on there? Interestingly enough, Silverbolt doesn't seem to have 2 instruction booklets like the Constructicon 2-pack. I just see one here. Oh, that's a lot of transformation. And then I'm guessing on the back, we have instructions for, yeah, both the battle station and getting them into Superion mode. Okay, exciting stuff. What's with these little sheets of paper here? Warning, choking hazard, small parts, not for children under 3 years. And that's in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 languages. No, I'm sorry, 26 languages, sorry. And trademarks? Why does this always have to be a separate sheet of paper? First world problems, right? Let's get ready for greatness here. That is shiny black paint on here. How do we get the rest of them out? This guy should come right off. Yes, yes. Wow, okay, yeah. Beefy, man. I can see just basically Superion doing some intense yoga here. This I'm gonna very carefully just toss it right over there. I noticed I didn't find a nose cone. Is it on the inside? Yes, okay. So, I mean, I haven't even looked at the instructions yet. I'm just flipping over the cockpit section, and here on the bottom, we have a nice nose cone. Oh, this is what I'm talking about too. They actually did it. So, they actually did it. I don't know if it's gonna be used for the transformation, but this Concordish jet, boop. Oh man, I love that. That makes me happy. That does make me happy. I would wonder though if there's a way to maybe make that nose cone even pointier. There's a little bit of extra room here on the inside. I don't know how I would extend it. I mean, I guess I could add some putty and re-smooth it out. That would look not good though, I can already tell. Okay, I'm noticing, other than the pin here for this articulation, there's an extra pin here in the front. I'm guessing to hold the black plastic nose cone itself, but that doesn't have any articulation that I can see though. So maybe that can be replaced? Thoughts. And so out of the box, the instructions do tell you to remove the nose cone. I think you have to split the rear dorsal fin, or that's for the added backpack though. I mean, this dorsal fin just kind of comes to the side out of the box. You kind of just flip it up and you're in business. It does have nice little detail that I noticed. You split it open and you get an awesome Easter egg Autobot symbol here on the inside. I don't know if that's a callback to the cartoon or the original toy. I'm actually not sure. I did a little bit of research and I couldn't find anything for this, as far as maybe like a screenshot from the show. So if anybody knows, do let me know down below, because I think I would like to go ahead and even paint that, if possible. I don't know where it's gonna end up on Superion, if it's gonna be shown prominently. I don't think so, but still, I'd like to take the time to really get it to pop if possible. I like that detail though, that's good stuff. Some very good Autobot symbols right here on the wings too. It's always curious what orientation the symbols are on the wings. I know that on the Seekers, I mean, let's say that this is how Starscream is. The Decepticon symbols are usually upside down because in jet mode, they would be oriented upright in this position, which I always found that weird. I don't think a Decepticon, let alone Starscream, would really give a shit about that. But now here, for this guy, the leader of the aerial bots has the Autobot symbols in this orientation, which I think technically is upside down for jet mode. And I think that once we get to robot mode, because you can see all of the robot bits underneath the jet, I think the wings are going to stay in this orientation as well. So technically they're going to be upside down in bot mode. And that's usually what I care about the most. I want to have the Autobot or Decepticon symbols right side up in bot mode if possible. So I may go ahead and change that. We'll see. We'll see. By the way though, this is the worst kept secret. Underneath, we recently opened up Vortex that did a pretty decent job of hiding the head in the copter mode. Granted, he's got kind of a blockhead, and so it's not super difficult to hide it in the vehicle. Whereas Superion, it's much more stylized. That's not fooling anybody though, dude. I guess the antenna do make some nice blasters here for the jet. That's kind of cool, but I don't know, dude. I mean, okay, it is what it is. All of the aerial bots have the drawback where it's just Kibble City underneath the jets, right? I think they're smaller than the Seekers and the G1 toys, and so they weren't going to really get any kind of a complex transformation to hide everything into the jet itself. No Transformer really does that. There's always Kibble in the bottom. But man, the aerial bots are the ones that are like the most guilty of that. But you know what? There's something cool about just seeing the robot bits underneath there. It's very nice to see that. I do love the intricate gold paint that we get for all the windows along the sides. That is gonna be so fun to paint. No, it's not, but it looks great though. Oh, that's so great. What's concerning is that towards the back here, they're not molded in as clearly, and so when you do get to an eventual repaint, it's going to be that much harder to really pick them out. I may just mask them out and spray paint them in. I think that'll be the easiest way to go, instead of trying to do it by hand. Oof, my eyesight will not hold up. That is so good. And of course, right here in the cockpit too, good stuff there. And even these little details right here on the front of the wings, nice little gold tips there. Awesome. But other than that, just like a really light gray plastic. We do have some black, red, and not really gold, but like an orangey yellow kind of plastic here in the bottom as well. I think it is technically supposed to be like a gold color. I think that's how it was in the G1 toy and what they look like in the cartoon. So I may recreate that on a repaint myself. But yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't realize that Superion's head was just there in vehicle mode. I kind of expected it to be somewhere on this piece where the skeletal system is. But I guess since it's creating the G1 toy, I guess that's how it was back then, right? I'll have to take a look at some pictures and whatnot. Looks like one of the tabs isn't firmly in place though. There's this little tab that's supposed to go into the black section. You look at the other side and it is firmly there. So the head's a little bit crooked. Can I kind of get it in there? Yeah. Nice solid click into place and it is fully clicked in. Okay, not bad. I am noticing on the back of Superion's head, man, very similar to Vortex. He's got the landing gear that just sticks right out of the head. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess for me, if it's gonna be a hindrance into bot mode, then I'm not as excited about it. But it's the back of the head, it's all in black, so if anything, it just ends up looking like added robot detail for bot mode, right? I think it's gonna stand out more in Vortex because I'm gonna end up painting the wheel like a rubber black or whatever the case is, which I will this one as well, but it's still gonna blend in a little bit better. And it looks like he's got rear wheels on his crotch section here that they are probably supposed to flip down. Okay, there we go. We got one. All right, we got two. So now we have the rear wheels and the front one. And yeah, it sits perfectly straight. Good stuff. Obviously, they're not going to roll. I wouldn't expect them to on wheels that small, but that's good stuff. Like that. Overall, that's about what I expected. Never had a Superion of any version before. Actually, no, I'm lying. I've never had a Superion, but I did have a Silverbolt. I think it was the Classics version back in the day that I think had some electronic sounds to him. I might be misremembering. But it was an awesome Silverbolt. Didn't combine into anything, but it was so great back in the day though. This one isn't as big, but I'm glad to have this version now that is actually gonna combine. Now this piece, oh, here are the wings. Boop, boop. Now this thing flies. Now I can feel it, right? Super aerodynamic. I think I have a similar feeling on this as I did with that extra dump add-on for long haul. I'm glad they took the time to design it in a way that it's incorporated into vehicle mode, but at the end of the day, it's not something that I absolutely needed. The way that they incorporated the skeletal system for Menasor is absolutely brilliant and it's perfect. Now, Hasbro didn't invent that. I think it was an aftermarket Menasor that first initially did that, but I'm glad that they took that idea and really ran with it. It just makes so much sense for Menasor. And I guess it does make sense to do it for the rest of them, but it's not gonna be an idea that makes as much sense. This is just an add-on for the jet mode. Let's take the time to combine it, probably the only time, just to see what it's all about. So it looks like we do split the rear dorsal fin. Am I calling it right, dorsal fin? I don't know. We split that, tilt the wings up, then we take this guy, add this on top of here. Oh, that becomes like an extra wing back here, huh? We already flipped the wings out. We've got some clips to rotate out. Okay. We combine them like so. Okay. Okay, all right, I'm feeling it. Oh, there's extra wing bits. I didn't even notice that. Rotate those out and flip the wings back down. Also this gun, bottom of the front section. He's gonna be packing heat now. And there you go. This to me kind of just screams more of like an aerial battle station, mobile flying gun war thing. It's much more for battle, you know? I mean, how can I say this? It doesn't really work, but it works enough. Just barely enough to say, okay, yeah, I see it. And I also very much don't see it. The back doesn't make really much sense. There's no like thruster detailing here. It's just other bits of Superion. Yeah, I guess what ends up being like the gun forms like this wing kind of a thing up here. You have the extra wings just popping out the back here. All right, what's I guess not jarring, but the level of detail that we have on the original Concorde jet itself is just a little bit lighter than what we have on the added section. There's a little bit more stuff going on here. And so that's a slight bit of a contrast there. Not a whole lot though, but again, I mean, they took the effort to give us this. So that's something. This thing doesn't even have landing gear, huh? But it sits on there fine. I mean, I would almost compare this to like a helicarrier kind of a thing from S.H.I.E.L.D. and whatnot. That never really does land, I guess. It's cool. It's cool. Not bad. And that's the last time I'm doing that. Okay. So these little wingtips on the Concorde, it came like this out of the box, and I folded them out for that battle station kind of a thing. But I guess it's supposed to be like this for the Concorde look. This is the complete look for it. What's funny though is that it does have that picture like that on the back of the box with the wingtips folded out, but on the front artwork, clearly they are folded in here. So I guess maybe they got some kind of signals crossed there. Such a minor thing. This overall is a great jet. It does exactly what it needs to do, and it keeps the robot bits where they are, where they have been in the past. It gets the job done though, it really does. I want to go ahead now and check out the bot mode. Let's do that. Woo! Here he is in robot mode. You know what? That transformation was solid. Very satisfying. I don't have any issues with it whatsoever. I got some critiques on the look of bot mode though, but the transformation itself was so good. I almost have a theory. Can you indulge me for a little bit? I have a theory. If you have a transformer that's roundish in nature, lots of curves, is it true that those are usually the most difficult transformations? Obviously every transformation is different. Some are more successful than others, but do curves and the roundness of figures make the transformations harder? This guy was like a game of Tetris. It's very blocky from the arms to the head to the legs. Yeah, it's got some roundness, like with the jet parts and whatnot, but you're basically moving blocks around, and it's so buttery smooth. I loved it. I'm filming these outside the box videos back to back to back. As of this filming, I transformed yesterday version 2 Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie, and if y'all remember, the transformation gave me a bit of a hard time at first, where I even had to stop filming. That never happens. I'm okay though, thankfully. Once you figure out a certain ball joint, again, it's perfectly fine. But no, it's just something that I'm wondering. I mean, I see the logic in that. If it wasn't for Superion's head, there really is nothing to tell you that he's going to be part of a combiner though. And I think that speaks to the level of design for this guy. It's always been curious. Again, other than the classics version of this guy, I've never owned the original one or any other version of Silverbolt. I found it curious how he always has these little wing designs on his shoulders. Looks freaking awesome. I love it. That it never comes into play on the actual jet mode. Was it like that in the original G1 toy? Or is it maybe just something they added for the G1 cartoon? I don't know. I could probably look it up. I could Google it. You don't have to tell me. I'll find out of myself if I really want to, right? But it looks really great in bot mode though. We add the nice reds, the faux gold on some other sections. It's a very strong bot mode. He is definitely the leader of the aerial bots. Man, not bad. And the way that the jet part kind of folds in on itself, not a whole lot, so it doesn't look overly segmented in the jet mode. Obviously the nose cone. And by the way, the articulated nose cone, I have to say that it's only really there so you can tilt it down and be able to grasp that cockpit section a little bit easier. But I'm sure they planned it that way, whereas you can just kind of fold it down and look like it's landing. It's so smart. God, I love that. Who designed this? Was it Mark? Who designed this? This is good. This is really good, man. I guess maybe like the tiniest kibble-ish section are gonna be what was the landing gear for the jet mode. It's right here still on the crotch plate. I'm pretty sure it wasn't like that on the original toy or the cartoon, right? Again, I'm not an expert in this. I'd have to go back and look. I think I'd be surprised if it was there, but if it wasn't and it's here, it's a minor thing. But now I'm kind of thinking with the eventual repaint, would I go through the trouble and painting the landing gear rubber black? If I do, then it would stick out in bot mode. And now, of course, for me, the main thing to look at is bot mode. So I could just see myself just painting it all the same light gray to give us a cleaner looking bot mode. I don't know. What do y'all think? Let me know. Sadly though, because of the transformation and the way that the fists fold out of the forearms, there's no wrist articulation. One thing that always bothers me a little bit with Transformers in general, whenever you have a hinge, here, let me show you, a hinge section, and one part of it is one colored plastic and the other part is a different colored plastic, you're gonna have a mismatch in that actual hinge section. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. I'm not crazy. You see the hinge here, the forearm is a light gray, but the fist itself is a black. But because of the transformation itself, part of the black plastic is now going into the forearm. Minor thing, right? But I do notice these things. And the reason it doesn't really bother me all that much is because that is something that we can then fix ourselves with an eventual repaint. It's one of those things you have to pay a little bit of attention to in the planning stage. Okay, so this little bit, we're gonna paint the light gray. We have to remember to properly mask it off, included in the spray session when we're getting all of the light grays. And then when we're painting the blacks, mask off that section to get the fist. Yeah, it takes a little bit of extra work, but the finished product, I promise you, is always gonna look that much better. So that's I guess a little sneak peek of what I plan to do eventually with a repaint on this guy though. That head sculpt is awesome. Again, a lot of combiners typically have pretty simple block heads. A lot of them are very featureless. They just have visors and mouth plates. They don't really have faces. This guy does. He is the leader. I know he was pretty damn big in the original toy, and of course in the G1 cartoon itself. Nice stern face, fantastically applied silver paint. It just pops so good, man. And then can you see can you see the nice powdery blue they applied for the eyes? I love it. The only thing I would probably want to do a little bit different, the shadow of like the brim of the top part of the helmet does kind of impede the look of that. Here, let me tilt it just a little bit more here. What if I tap my screen? There you go. Can you see that? It looks nice. I think what I would try to do is maybe get a little bit more of a metallic-y light blue that I've used in the past, so that might be the way to go. There's no screw in the back of the head though, which means I probably won't be splitting this head open. There is a seam line in the middle, and I know folks have told me you can split these open. I always get a little bit nervous if I try to do that though. I'm afraid it's gonna crack in a spot where it's not supposed to, maybe ruin it. Has anybody else here done that? Do you have experience doing that? Let me know. Should I not be afraid of it? Should I still try to split it open? I could try. I could certainly try. Splitting it open would make painting the eyes a heck of a lot easier, because what they always do is that the eyes are connected to the rear part of the helmet. So if you split this open, the eye sections are gonna actually get removed, making it easier to paint them and even easier to paint the face itself. So that would be ideal. Otherwise, worst case scenario, we do have tiny brushes. Thankfully, these glasses still work. I have some nice magnifiers here as well. We can get the job done. Let's see. Hey, let's talk about that Autobot symbol. I talked about it on the wings for jet mode. And yeah, sure enough, they're upside down here in bot mode now. That always does confound me. I'm definitely going to be putting them right side up in my eventual repaint. I think it'll still look fine in jet mode. We'll be okay. No big deal there. But the one that's in the front is in a peculiar spot. He traditionally has his Autobot symbol right here, front and center. There's a nice space right there for it as well, but Hasbro decided to put it over here instead. Now, I know why they did that. For the combined mode in Superion, that's where it's supposed to be. That's where it's going to be showing. I have a bit of an issue though because of the details that are in that section. Let me try and show you here. It's not so much that there's panel linings, but there are detailed indentations, parts sticking out. It's not a flat section, and so having the Autobot symbol on top of that, to me, looks a little bit sloppy. Is sloppy the right word? Messy? It doesn't look like it fits there, right? And with all of the empty space that they had here, this would have been perfect. But again, I get why they did that. I'm gonna go a different route though. I am gonna be putting the Autobot symbol right there front and center, but ironically, I'm probably gonna display these in Superion mode. So let's take a look at the box here again and show you where or how it's gonna look like in combined mode. You see the red sections that are Silverbolt's chest. We have the Autobot symbol showing. Now there's a chest plate for Superion that goes over a big part of Silverbolt's chest, which is why they didn't add the Autobot symbol right there front and center. I get it, it makes sense. But I think that once you have the chest piece for Superion, there are other sections where you can very nicely add an Autobot symbol, maybe either here in the center with this red part, or maybe down here, or even maybe up here, or on the same side where the other red section is. Plenty of flat sections to add an Autobot symbol, and I think it'll still look nice too. So I think we're gonna deviate that a little bit. I'm still gonna take a look at the cartoon and the G1 toy just to have a point of reference, but I'm not a big fan of this solution that they came up with here. If I'm gonna have the Autobot symbol in a slightly different spot in Superion to give us a better Silverbolt, I'm totally down to do that. I'm totally down. What do you all think? Am I making a mistake? No, I'm not. Of course I'm not. There's a part of this guy that reminds me of Siege Shockwave. He also has a nice hefty backpack, and because of that, Shockwave has some pretty extended heels. The Lego bricks, I call them. I did go ahead and remove them in my eventual repaint because I really wasn't utilizing that gun section backpack into the bot mode for me, so I knew I didn't need that extra support. I think it looked better without him as well. And for Silverbolt, he's got the same similar kind of heels. They're not Lego bricks, but oh man, he is a definite flat foot. They are really sticking out. But that is, again, because he's got quite a bit of a backpack here. Now, I did go ahead and just test it out, try to make him stand without those heels. You ready for this? What do you think's gonna happen, huh? Yeah, it doesn't really work. Maybe there's a way that you can display him so that he's leaning forward. Come on. No, yes. Don't make a fool out of me now. What if I give him a weapon as well? Okay, will that work? Okay, that works. Can you see it? Can you see it? But ever so slightly. You give it a little nudge, and yeah, it's gonna fall back. So on this guy, those heels are pretty much essential. It's still unsightly to me though. It doesn't look great. It's not the greatest look, I think. Ironically, there's a bit of the gold plastic here on the inside. I'm not exactly sure what that's about. I don't know if that individual piece is supposed to be clicking out. I don't know if that's meant for Superion. It doesn't seem like it wants to come out though. I'm not gonna mess with it. But that's gonna be a heel I'm probably gonna have to live with, which is fine, not the end of the world. Usually on weapons, they don't drill out the barrel hole because it's so small, and sometimes they're made in a way where you can attach a blast effect to it. Superion is not messing around here. His weapon is like 95% barrel hole. That thing's gonna do some serious damage to you. Oh my God. And it looks freaking awesome. I love it. There are some extra detailed bits, almost like little rivets on the inside of the barrel. I don't know if I can have that come up on camera. Can you possibly see that? Looks nice. Looks freaking awesome. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be some blast effects that would nicely fit in there as well. A little bit of hollowness on the bottom though, as is usually the case with these, but it looks like it can be fixed pretty easily. Not too bad. There is what looks like a rectangular tab here in the bottom. I don't know if it was meant to connect somewhere in jet mode. Oh, well, we put it underneath the nose cone, but we used the circular peg, not that rectangular one. So I don't know, maybe somewhere else. If not, I'm going to cut it off. It might not survive. But overall, this is a success. Fantastic figure, fantastic update to a classic Aerialbot. I'm excited to get the others. One of the things about Superion though, that's always been, I don't want to say boring, but maybe just not as exciting as the other combiners. The fact that they're all jets, and the jets, every single one of the jets, well, except for this guy, the jets for the appendages, they have a very sameness to them. It's like a jet, and all of the stuff for the robot mode is on the bottom, which is true for this guy too, but the Concorde just looks so much different. But no, I'm still very much looking forward to them. I won't do Superion mode right now, even though we have the skeletal system for him. I can definitely wait until we get the others, and we'll take a look at Superion then, and I guess plan for an eventual repaint sometime in the future. I look forward to it though. But hey, that is gonna do it for us here today. We still have 2 more items in this Big Bad Toy Store box of goodies, so look forward to that. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed me just kind of blabbering on endlessly about this guy. As you know, you can catch up with me on all the social medias. Links are down below. And you can support the channel by liking, subscribing, leaving a comment. I'm sure you have thoughts as well. And you can become a channel member. Use some awesome emotes here. I know I like them. You can also support by hitting up the merch store and get one of these bad boys. Or you can also hit up Patreon at patreon.com/hobbies with Jose, and choosing a tier that's right for you. Plenty of photos and videos from my past projects, and you could even pick out what I work on next. The option's there. But until I see you again on the next one, keep on customizing. Is it working yet? I'll keep using it.